Our next tank is our first camouflage tank, which is the Panzer IV Joseph G in ambush camouflage. So this is a beautiful tank, and if you didn't know, the Panzer IV was basically the workhorse of the German army throughout the course of World War II, and there were many variants of it, this one being the last, the Joseph J variant. So some features of this model are the, of course, gun going up and down. This one is more or less prohibited to just a little bit of elevation in both ways, but it's still a good feature. It also has a anti-aircraft mounted MG34, but I changed it to a 42. It also has a opening hatch on the top for your commander or crewman, and it also has turret side skirt armor, I guess you could call it. And this model also does come with side skirt armor, although it's not on there right now. And also, like the Panzer III, has opening hatches if you take the turret skirts off. It also has a hull-mounted MG34. And yeah, and the treads do roll decently well, so that's another good feature. So yeah, this is the Panzer IV Joseph J in ambush camouflage. Further along the line, with our next tank, is our first and only tank destroyer. Now, this model is very rare and very admired by LEGO World War II enthusiasts like myself. So this model is the Panzer IV L-70 tank destroyer. So this tank has the Panzer IV chassis, so the road wheels and the gears that run the tracks, and the chassis, as you can see, front and back. And then it has the superstructure on it, has a high-powered, high-velocity 76mm gun in the front, and all tank destroyers made by Germany were highly armored in the front, and this tank, it has quite a low silhouette, so it was easily concealable in the woods or brush, where they would usually be hiding, waiting to ambush enemy tanks. So this model is quite cool. It has many features, like all Brickmania models. It has the turret can obviously go up and down. There is an opening hatch. An opening hatch on the top of the tank, of course, to fit your commander or gunner or any other crew member you'd like. The superstructure of the tank can also come off and the side if you'd like it to. But yeah, there's the inside of the tank. You can see the turret, how it's built. But yeah, so that is the Panzer IV L-70 tank destroyer. And on to the next one. And an ambush camouflage. With our second last tank, we have my favorite, probably out of this bunch. It is the Panther Joseph G in ambush camouflage. This is one of the tanks I got for Christmas this year. It is a beautiful model. This tank was used on both fronts, the Eastern and Western fronts, in later World War II. This was also the last model of the Panther tank. This particular model, the variant G, Joseph G, was used in the later years of the war, especially in Normandy and the Eastern Front. So the last variant had an extremely powerful 75mm high-velocity gun, which, if you haven't heard, there's a story about, in Normandy, a Panther shooting through a destroyed Sherman to hit a second Sherman tank on the opposite side, which is absolutely insane. So there's some history, and there are tons of features on this tank. So first off, like always, the turret can go up and down. I must say this is quite a smooth up and down motion, which is very satisfying. Also on the turret, we have a hatch, which you can fit, of course, your commander or other crew members of the tank on. We also have another anti-aircraft mounted MG34 on the turret. So yeah, other details include a opening engine hatch. There we go. So you can see the engine in there a little bit. So that's another nice feature. And the side of the turret just decided to come off. That's great. Other features include 2 opening hatches in the front for your radio and gunner and your driver. So you can fit 2 more crew members in there. and both the turret and upper chassis of the tank come off. So take the turret off. So there you can see the tank without the turret off. Some really cool printed parts are also on this tank, including these texture printed fans on either side of the back. And there is also a really nice suspension included with the tank. As you can see, the road wheels. The treads also roll really nicely on the tank. So let's take the upper chassis off. And this tank also has a full interior. So there are the two spots for your radio man and gunner and your driver. Here's the engine over here. And here is the turret spin wheel, I guess you could say. But yeah, that is the Panther Joseph G in ambush camouflage. On to the next one. And last but certainly not least, we have, in most historians' opinion, the most dreaded tank of World War II, the German Tiger heavy tank. So this tank was also another gift from Christmas, and I must say it is a beast of a model, just like the real Tiger. So, the history of the Tiger is the Germans had the idea before World War II to construct this massive 50-ton heavy tank that they thought they wouldn't need, as they saw that no other country had a heavy tank or medium tank that could match this in a one-on-one fight. So they went to war without the heavy tank, and once they got to Russia in 1941, and they met the T-34s, they saw that, hey, we need a heavy tank. So they brought back the idea of the Tiger, and a year later, they had production models, and they were coming out with these 50-ton beasts. So the reason the Tiger was so dreaded by American and some Russian tankers during World War II, was because of its 88mm gun, which could basically punch through anything the Americans and British had on the Western Front. But by 1943, the Russians had armor that could definitely stand up to the Tiger and Panther tanks. So, enough of the history, back to the model. So, this model has some really nice features to it, as do all other Brickmania tanks, of course. So, we have a opening hatch on the top, commander's hatch, and we also have the gunner's hatch on the opposite side of the turret, so you can fit 2 crewmen in the turret of the Tiger tank. The gun is also, of course, able to go up and down. And if we turn the turret to the side, we also have 2 more hatches in the front hull, which you can fit your radio man and machine gun operator and your driver in there quite nicely. Let's close those up. We also have a hull-mounted MG34, and there is some really nice detailing on the back of this tank. So you can see some pipelines for the engine and the big exhaust pipes for the engine. And there is also a engine hatch on the back. I'll take off the turret. There's also an engine hatch on the back. As you can see, there is the engine in there. And you can also take off the turret, as you just saw me do. And you can also take off the... oh no. You can also take off the upper superstructure of the tank, and you have the inside. So it is a detailed interior. You have the driver's section here, and the radio man and machine gun operator here. You have the engine, and you have the exhaust pipes. This model also has a really nice suspension to it. That is the Tiger one. And that will bring us to an end. Thank you guys so much for watching my German Army video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, comment, whatever you'd like to do. And I hope you guys have a great new year. 2017 sure has been an awesome year, especially with the sub count and views going up at a drastic rate. So I just really want to thank you guys for that. It means the world to me. So, thank you for watching. Hope you guys have an awesome new year. And I'll see you in the next video. Ship Raider out.